In today's video, we're going to talk about a symmetrical shape that works all the time if used properly. And by the end of this lesson, you will be able to use this properly. It all has to do with focus, rhythm, and execution. Grab a guitar, we'll get started right after this. Hello, my name is David from the Wallerman Guitar Artistry. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players around the world develop their musical personality on the beautiful instrument that is the guitar. Now, before I share with you the concept, you need to be aware that this doesn't make any sense from a music theory point of view. Typically, you want to match musical elements together in order to make sense. This one will not make sense. And you can't just use the concept that we're going to talk about to phrase. If you do, you're going to sound weird and awkward. I'm going to show you the steps, but it's important to understand music theory. Now, this video is brought to you by a website called Skillshare. Skillshare is an online platform with tons of courses. There are over 25,000 active members on the platform. And if you need help with music theory, well, you can check out Skillshare.com. They have tons of resources there. It has over 25,000 classes and classes in design, photography, business, music. You're going to find what you're looking for at Skillshare.com. A membership with Skillshare gives you access to all the courses, and they start at $10 per month. It's very affordable. And because Skillshare is a sponsor for this video, they are offering a free 2-month trial, unlimited trial to all the courses to the 500 first people who sign up. The link is going to be below in the description of this video. Check it out, sign up, learn something new. And for now, let's get into this video. Today, we are going to work on a very simple concept that is expandable. The shape that I'm going to give you is not the only one that's going to work. As a matter of fact, we can argue that any shapes will work over this. But this particular shape has something very particular to it. It's always going to work, and I'll explain to you why. Now, we're going to use a backing track, this one right here, which is in the key of G Dorian. This backing track and the charts for the shape that you're about to discover can be downloaded for free. All you need to do is visit the link below. That'll take you to a sign-up page, completely free. Sign up once and you'll get access to the assets for this video and many other videos on the channel. This is the shape that we're going to use in this lesson. Again, you can expand that to any other shapes, but here it is. And you can start this from any string, any fret. But for now, we're going to start this on, let's say, the 5th string, 3rd fret, right here with the index finger. Then our middle finger is going to go on the 4th string, 4th fret. And our ring finger is going to be on the 3rd string, 5th fret. So that kind of shape. Again, don't try to analyze this. It's not important. It's the shape itself. It's very easy. It falls under the fingers very well. And then we're going to reverse this shape. So instead of having ascending frets 3, 4, 5, when we descend, we're going to do the reverse thing. 3, 4, 5, but this time starting on the 3rd string. So altogether we have something like this. Now, what makes this shape so valuable for what you're trying to do here? Well, it kind of has to do with music theory. A fundamental aspect of music theory, if you want to create something on your instrument that the listener can relate to, you want to match musical elements. What does that mean? That means that if you're playing over a chord made of a root, a minor third, and a fifth, if in your improvisation you were to play a third, you need to match the type of third found in the chord. A minor third in the chord means that if you were to play that third, you need to pick a minor third. Well, of course, rules can be broken, and that's exactly what we're doing here. But just be aware that if you break that rule, you're going to sound a little bit tensed. And there's nothing wrong with tensed, as long as you can resolve. Well, even if you don't resolve, it's your music. You do whatever you want, but typically the listener likes to be brought back home. Now, let's go back to our shape here. The cool thing with this shape is that regardless of where you're starting from, you will always have at least one note that is going to be within the scale that you're playing in because of the nature of that shape. The double shape, you have the ascending version and the descending one. One of these notes is always going to fit. So let's give that a try over this, we consider G Dorian. Let's say that, okay, we go back to our shape starting on the 5th string, 3rd fret. Well, that note is in right away. This note is found in G Dorian. Okay. Now, what if we started this on the fourth fret? Well, let's try that. Fourth fret here, that's not in the shape. That's not in G Dorian. That clashes. The next note, oh, that's a G. That is in that shape. It works. Now let's try something else on a different string. Maybe we'll start this on the third string, second fret. So this is our shape. Okay, this note right here, well, that's in. That note is the second, and that's found in G Dorian. What about here? Well, here too, that's the minor third. What about here? On the fourth fret. Well, that note is outside. The next one is inside. So you see where I'm getting with this, right? You're always going to have at least one note that is in. When you're playing atonal, when you're playing a weird shape that has nothing to do with the scale, there are really two things that are important. The first thing is to have proper rhythm phrasing. You want to make sense with the rhythm. If your notes are not matching what you're playing over, that can be okay as long as rhythmically it kind of makes sense. You don't want to be all over the... That's too weird. You still want to have a sense of strong phrasing, even if you play the wrong notes. Right? The notes don't make sense, but rhythmically it makes sense. So you want to have the rhythm element, which we're always going to have when we play this shape. You want to phrase rhythmically. Okay? And you also don't want to leave the listener hanging too much. If you only play wrong notes, at some point the listener is going to be tired, mentally drained. So this shape is perfect for that because we just saw that within the shape there's always at least one note that is in. The listener can kind of like rest a little bit on that note. And if we add to that proper rhythm phrasing that makes sense with the track that you're playing over, well, that's a magical shape. You have two elements to play outside, and this is not the only shape that will work like that, but that's the one we're going to use. So let's apply this a little bit on the instrument. So here's our backing track. Strong beats, whatever you want to use as subdivisions. If you know me, you know that 16th note is my to-go one. Let's try something here on the third fret, fourth string, and you know now that I could have picked any. That's always going to work. But we're going to try this. So we're going to start like this. That's our shape. Okay, I'm going to phrase rhythmically. Something like that, right? Okay, it works. It's a short musical statement that makes sense. Now, this on its own, it's an interesting idea, but we want to go back in, and we're always going to be close to an in note. Maybe the landing note is not the in one like this, but you're always going to be at least one fret away. So in this case, you can go slide one fret up, and we're landing on that sixth. So. Great. That works. And then back in. And when you want to go out, use this shape. Okay, and it's just experimentation with that particular shape. You'll find that as long as the shape that you're using is simple to memorize and that you can reverse it, because that way you have two ideas in one. What I mean by reverse is you start at the starting point and then the mirror up, like that. Well, you're going to be able to use this concept and then add to that chromatic passage. Blend in some right notes, you have it made. That's the idea that I have for you today. Very simple, right? So just remember, symmetrical shape, something you can remember phrase rhythmically, and make sure that you know what the proper inside home is, because you always want to go back home. If you stay outside too long, well, the listener is going to be tired and get lost. It's give and take. It's tension and release. And that's what I have for you today. So the backing track here is available, again, for free with the charts and the reminder of the shape. You can download that by visiting the link below and check out Skillshare. Skillshare, thank you for sponsoring this video, for making this possible. I really appreciate it. And everyone, if this is your first visit to the channel, thanks for sticking with me. You should consider subscribing if you like this, because every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is new video day. At 1 p.m. U.S. Mountain Time, a video is released with the simple concept, helping guitar players around the world develop their musical personality. You have something beautiful to say. Nobody else can say it your way. Let's learn how to most effectively say that on the instrument. Thanks for watching this. Practice well.